Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and I wanted to pop in with a quick end of the month type video, just updating on my attempt to smash the spring market paper collection that I have. So I purchased so many of these collections, partial collections, and then I still have a full collection in my stash, but I did manage to almost completely get rid of two partial collections, which equaled at least 1 3/4 together, I think. So let's go through what I was able to accomplish. So I started off with a sheet load of cards. So that is Alicia over at Call Me Crafty Owl. So I did the sheet load of cards challenge and I managed to get 22 cards. I think it originally only made 8 to 12 cards. And anyway, I kept going and ended up making 22 cards from the sheet load of cards. Then I did just some scrap cards, I guess, on my own, and managed to get even more cards. So I got 25 out of that one. And I will link the videos that I am mentioning in the description box, just in case you wanted to check any of these out. So these are the little scrap cards that I put together in the kind of the stash busting video that I did. So there are 15. And then I did 10 of these little 3x3 cards because I thought they were perfect for just little gifts, very quick. So in that one I did those, and then I also finished up a few more cards. So I think I finished up 11 more cards. I had started these cards previously. That was the collection that when I first opened it up and I was working on it, these are the cards that I was working on. I have a couple of slim lines here. So I went ahead and finished up these cards that I'd already started in, and then a couple of these that are a little bit of a different shape. So it's like the little scalloped on the craft card stock. So those are them. So then I ended up with even more. Let's see. I think there was 11. There were 11 of those that I did. And then I did Kendra's card challenge number 18, and I made 18 more cards. So these were the cards from Kendra's card challenge. So I am at this point blowing through this paper collection. It is by Carta. It's a beautiful little collection, as you can see. I think it made a lot of lovely little cards. So this isn't the entire 18. This is only 16. I did end up giving away 2 of these that look just like this for birthdays. I had a couple of friends with birthdays this month, and so I did send those out. But there were 18 total from Kendra's card challenge. So I was just on a roll. And then I did a little video where I showed you how to make these little mini accordion journals. And so I made 2 of them. I made this one and this one. I believe these 2 on my own. And then I made this one with you guys. So I ended up getting 3 of those. And then while I was doing that, I also made some masterboard. So I did some distress oxides on the back of a sheet of paper. And then I did a masterboard with all the scraps. And I ended up making these scrappy little journaling cards. And I believe that there were 15 of these. So all these scrappy little journaling cards. Okay. And then I just kept going. I just kept going. And I didn't record this. I was just trying to use up the last bit of my stuff. I made an additional set of 18 cards using up scraps. So let me make some room here. I've got stuff all over. So let me move these to the side. And then here are these scrap cards. Now, I didn't complete these. And these are just like backgrounds. So the fronts are done. I just need to add sentiments to these. And I like having blank cards around so that I can just pop any sentiment that I might need, just in case it's something different or something I don't have in my stash already. My set of cards, I can just pop a quick sentiment on these, and then there you go. out the door. So I love having a whole set of cards that don't already have a sentiment but are ready to go otherwise. Those are really quick. So there were 18 of those. So when I did these 18, I also made these guys. So I've got some cut aparts and then just some little journaling cards, some different things that I've cut out that I made here. So all of these are just like little journaling cards and little tucks and stuff like that for journals. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with some of those in just a minute. These were little scrappy ones. And then these are just little writing spots. And I just use them, you know, cut them out with one of my shaped dies. And then there you go. So there were, let me see, how many of those were there? The journaling cards and writing spots, I think I had 28 of those total. And then I made a whole slew of tags. So this one with the little scallops, some of these extra long tags. I really like having the extra long ones because I find when I'm making like folios and journals, I usually have spots where I can use those and I kind of need the little extra long tags. So I ended up making 36 little scrappy tags. Some of them are decorated, some of them are blank. That way I was just able to pull something and it's ready to go. I will use some of these in just a few, but then others I will put in my ephemera stash and I'll be able to pull on those later. So let me see. Let me move this out of the way and make some space. Now, I don't have videos for these two guys that I'm about to show you. I created them with the scraps just kind of on the fly while I was in here playing around a little bit. And so if you're interested in videos on these, then I'm happy to go back and create videos on these, but they're pretty basic. So I don't think it's necessary, honestly. That's why I didn't bother to stop and record. But I made this little folio. And I thought that I would be able to stuff this with actual cards and ephemera. So if I pick just a couple of cards and I don't have envelopes on me, but I can always, you know, pull envelopes from my stash and put them in the back there. But I've got room for a couple of cards. This is gusseted, so I do have room for that. And then I thought I can put, let me see, maybe a couple of these little tucks. There we go. These little cut aparts in here. That's a cute one. Maybe some of these larger tags. There we go. Okay, and then I thought that I could fill this up and it would be so cute to give out to someone, right? This guy. Let me find something else that's a little bit smaller. These all have little writing spots on them, but I thought this little folio was adorable. See, I might be able to do one of these little journal. That one's a little bit too big. Let me see what else I've got here. I've got some smaller ones. I do. That one is a little bit too wide also. That one might be too long. I think this guy will fit for sure. Yep. Maybe one of these little journaling spots. I don't know if those will fit in there. Nope, those are too wide also. This little guy fits in there though. And he's got the little tab. That's cute. I'm going to add one more tag back here. And then there we go. So I was able to put 2 cards. I'll add 2 envelopes. I've got 2 little journaling spots. I've got 2 tags on this side. I've got 2 tags on this side. And then the little cut apart there journaling card. It folds over. Wrap this ribbon around. And then tie it over here. I made sure that there was plenty of ribbon. That way, no matter what was put in here, or no matter how full it got, there would still be plenty of ribbon to make sure that that's tied nice and secure. And there we go. Isn't that cute? And I loved this yellow crinkle ribbon, and I'm so glad I got to use that. Okay, let me put this aside. The next thing that I made is I started making these little tags here. like, well, not this one, these little tags with the scraps, and I absolutely loved it. And then I thought, well, what if I did this on a larger scale? So I got out some of my really large tags, and I thought, I'll do this with these, and I ended up making a little tag journal. And I just used tab binding to do this. And then let me see, I didn't measure these, so I'm not sure how big these tags are, but I'm gonna go ahead and measure now and I'll tell you. So it's 8 by 4. So it's 8 by 4 tags. So here is the front, and I used some washi that I glued down as the tabs. And then here we go. I left this one blank because I thought I can add something later if I wanted. I put a belly band here, but as we go along, I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and fill this up. So I'll decorate this guy, but I can put this here. You know, this is, might blend in too much. Let's put something else in there to kind of break that up. And then I left this one blank. And then I had pockets on these guys. And look at these little cutouts right here with these guys, the little butterflies. Isn't that cute? I thought that was cute. So we'll put a journaling card in there. I'll also add one of these journaling cards. And then let's see, something for the top here. Maybe one of the little writing spots. And then this one's kind of a deeper pocket here. Can put this tag in here. And then maybe one of those super long ones. Oh, I like that side, the black. That'll really pop. There we go. I like that a lot. And then maybe one more. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And then turn the page, and I have a pocket up here at the top. Let's put this journaling card in here. Be one of these guys. And then I have the little bitty pocket down here. I loved these 3 pieces right here. I loved the look at that, and I loved this right here. And then I love the way this one came together. I didn't want to cover up a lot of that in the background with a pocket. And so I made the little beady pocket down here at the bottom. And I was like, so that way when, you know, whenever they pull whatever out, then whoever receives this, then they'll be able to see all the goodies that are there, right? Because I thought it was just too cute. Look, I love fussy cut that out. Let me see. Maybe one other little item. There we go. And look at that. And then I didn't do anything on the back. I could go back and add ribbon in here. I may do that later, and then that way it'll add just some more dimension on it. I kind of liked it plain though, so I went ahead and left it without any ribbon at the top. But isn't that adorable? And then I can go back and add a pocket later, or I can add a bulldog clip to clip something in there if I wanted to. Maybe do some larger journaling spots or whatever. But otherwise, look at that. And all of that was done with the scraps. And so I wanted to show you that. So if you're interested, so these 2 right here, this little folio and then this tag, little tag journal, I did not do these on camera. I did these just playing around in my studio time. So if you're interested in seeing either one of them, they're very simple, but if you're interested in seeing how I constructed either one of these, let me know, and I'm happy to do a video on that. So let's get to the big item. Like, what did I manage to get rid of? So let me see. What do I have left? So out of this spring market collection, and this was, I put a lot of effort into this because I don't typically use a lot of chipboard or a lot of stickers, but look at this. Aren't you proud of me? I only have a few stickers left, and honestly, a lot of these could probably go on some of these tags and things. I might do that later. I don't know. And then the second sticker sheet, I only had a few on it as well. And then a little bit of this trim down here. Look at all of the actual chipboard pieces I used. That is a lot for me. I gotta be honest, that was a lot for me. So I can add these guys. I wasn't necessarily concerned about completely using up all these, because I can add these to the collection that I still have in my stash, and I'll be able to use those up very easily. But here's the most important part. What do I have left over? And this is it, guys. Out of all those scraps. And if you go back and watch that very beginning video when I pulled it out and I showed you all the stuff that I had left, it was so much stuff. This is all I have left. This is it. And I'm considering this stash, it's busted, it's gone, it's done. I'm going to just toss this little bit of stuff into my scrap bin. And honestly, at the end of the year, what I typically do is any of my scraps in my scrap bin that I have not gone back and used or pulled from, I end up donating those to the local high school art department, and they end up using them for collage and things like that. So the art teacher there appreciates that. So that's what I end up doing with these. So they'll end up being recycled, reused if I don't pull them out and use them in a different project, you know, throughout the year. So I'm considering that a success. This is done. I could probably make one more tag out of this, but honestly, I'm kind of done. I made some beautiful projects. They're all a little bit different. I ended up with a total of 94 cards, 43 journal cards or little writing spots, 4 journals, and 1 folio. So I think that really is a success. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer those. And again, any of the videos that I've already created on these, I'll go ahead and link in the description box, and you can check those out. Thanks for spending some time with me, and until next time, bye.